All right. So who's ready to go on a golf trip?
I am.
Let's do it,
Okay.
baby.
Let's do it in 5, 4, 3.
You know what I'm talking about? That lettuce, that lettuce. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. That lettuce, that lettuce, focused all on the check. Yeah, all I want is lettuce. Yeah, just give me the lettuce. Yeah, just give me the lettuce.
Let us heads. We are back with another edition of Please Let Us Golf, the podcast. Today you got Goldie, Adam, and Golfberg. And today we're going to be doing one of your favorites, right? We're going to be doing a full debrief of a recent golf trip we had. This time out to the incredible Ballyneal Golf Club. I don't throw the big I word out there lightly. I think we're going to get into the reasons why. It really was an incredible golf experience. But before we do our thing, around the table, Adam, Mr. Golfberg, how are we doing this morning?
Doing great, man. It's been a while since I've been on. I got benched, but baseball playoffs are in full swing, so I'm coming out of the pen, baby. I'm like Roki Sasaki. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to close it out, baby. Let's go.
I don't even know who that is, so I'm just gonna take your word for it, But the mustache for the listening audience, listening audience, you do need to watch this one probably too. Gonna have a lot of video, photography overlays as we talk through the course, but the mustache is looking primo. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Mr. Golfer, how are we doing in the PNW?
Yeah, real nice shaping on that mustache, Adam. Who do you got working on that? What's his name? Shit. Kai Golby?
Kai Golby, yes.
God, man.
Yeah, that's a shaper. No, that was considering you just did that off the cuff, and you're not an architect guy. That's a great pull.
I'm not an architect guy, and my brain is not working these days. And
this is actually Brian Schneider, who did a lot of the greens at Ballyneal.
I will say, Mr. Golfberg, here recently you did post a little weekend golf, a PNW update. Is some of the Seattle weather starting to creep in for the fall? Are we going to get morose Aaron for the next few months?
No, it's creeping, but I'm realizing I have to actually lead the charge with my friends out here, because even though they've lived out here longer, they're all the ones being negative, and I can't handle it. So I'm like, stay positive, get your rain gloves. I don't wear rain gloves, but let's do it. I mean, we can handle 45, 50 degrees with a little mist.
So, the last thing, I am struggling a little bit, guys. I've talked too much about kids the last few pods. But we had our first broken bone in the house yesterday. So might get some interruptions in this pod. The 6-year-old broken collarbone. He just had to win the race and had to reach out a little too far, it looks like. But so he's downstairs.
Ain't first or last.
That's his philosophy. So as any good dad, I said, here's your pad and unlimited snacks for 1 hour as we go record Ballyneal. So how's this going to work today? Let's jump into it. I'm going to tee up a little context of, how the trip came together. We're going to kick it over to Adam. He's putting his historian hat on for the first time in a while. And then we are going to roll into a little bit of a property overview and, of course, your favorite, the course review. So first of all, let me get this out of the way. Yes, Ballyneal is private. You don't need to message us and let us know this is a private club. The majority of what we cover is public. So we do understand that kind of elicits a certain feeling out of some percentage of the audience. But just trust us. Go on the journey with us. We're going to let you know, how this came together and why this isn't your typical ultra exclusive kind of regressive private club that you might roll your eyes at. Couldn't be further from that in terms of the private golf model. So how'd this come together? So in 2022, little flag behind me if you're listening, I got a Bandon Dunes flag up here. Trip we had out there, large group, about 24 guys. We were add-ons from a old friend of Mr. Golfberg, and then this gentleman by the name of Mr. Ted Bradley. He was a late add to the trip. The funny part was we never even played with Ted when we were on the trip. We just had some conversations at dinner. We knew he was a Ballyneal member, followed each other on Instagram. But basically, that's the extent of the relationship. But after we launched Plug last year, he engaged with a couple of the course reviews and some of the content drops we had. So I shot him a note early this year of saying, hey, if it ever could come together, we'd love a chance to get out to Ballyneal. Little did we know, we were entering the zone of maybe like the ultimate guy in golf. And I'm sure Ted will come up quite a few times in this review, but we'll gas him up a little early. Not only was he an insanely good host, he was intense in the best way. So if you guys remember, literally as the trip was approaching, he's emailing you PDF hole by hole breakouts of strategy, stories, what to expect. And and we're sitting there like, for me, we're all into it, but Aaron's texting me, Mr. Golfberg's going like, "And we're either getting murdered when we go out there, or this is the greatest golf trip ever." So luckily we didn't get murdered, and it was probably lean to the greatest golf trip ever.
Well, because if you look on a map, it's something like it's the coloring with Google Maps, but you zoom and zoom, and you're like, I don't see a golf course there. And then you zoom in on like a hunt club. So there's guns, and this guy's inviting you to the middle of nowhere in Colorado. And we're like, okay,
Yeah,
this will work
it's
out.
so I didn't want to steal all Adam's thunder, but yeah, if you didn't know, Ballyneal is in what they call the Chop Hills of Colorado near the Nebraska border. But Ted was the best. Like, look, I don't want to just keep saying Ted, and people, oh, he just hosted you. He literally was the ultimate trip guide you could ever have. We didn't. The caddies out here there, I hear, are excellent, but he was basically our caddy, our shepherd. He was the food critic. He was the what desserts I was going to consume, what drinks we needed to have, and also great golfer, right? Legitimate. Let's throw him his flowers there. Legitimate plus handicap.
He was our inspiration. I mean, think about it. Goldie and I too. I mean, we all play. Goldie and I can putt. We pride ourselves on that. Since Ballyneal, we both changed putters to the putter Ted was using. I mean, it got in our heads. This guy can roll the rock.
You guys are chasing Ted. It's all right. You're chasing Ted.
Literally, this is funny. How you want to know like inner workings, how we work? We said we're going to get to the damn course review, but this is serious pod stuff here. Ted's a good player. We'll call him Tad for a minute. Ted's a good player, but he switched to the lab. He's rolling the rock like a freaking maniac. And what's the first thing we do? We get back from Ballyneal, and I figure out a way to get the founder and CEO of Lab Golf on the pod to then figure out how to do some custom fittings and see if what's really going on with these lab putters. So it has come full circle of how we operate and why we do things. All you got to do is play us, beat us, out putt us, and we will go through extraordinary lengths to figure out how to remedy that situation. But Adam, so without further ado, let's kick it over to you. Put the historian hat on. We've already done some architecture talk with that beautiful mustache, but lay it on. What do people need to know about Ballyneal before we jump into the courses?
Yeah, so Ballyneal, it's a private inland link style course located just outside of Holyoke, Colorado, which you guys said it's like literally in the middle of nowhere. It's, I guess, roughly about 170 miles northeast of Denver. And my brother, who lives in Colorado, not a big golfer, but he's like, "You're going where?" Like, there's literally nothing out there. It's just like pasture and farms. But so the course sits on 700 acres of rugged terrain that the locals call it the Chop Hills, which essentially it's sand dunes that kind of resembles the terrain that you would see on some of the coastal link courses in Ireland and Scotland.
Can we pause for 1 second on that? I'm glad you said it that way. Because I don't know why, but I obsess about this a little bit. Like, we played Erin Hills, and it was something about when you look past the course, it felt a little boring because there's just these lines of trees and you don't see much. But like obviously Bandon or Pebble Beach, you get to look out at the ocean and it's just magnificent. For whatever reason, we're playing Ballyneal in the middle of Colorado, no water for thousands of miles, but you almost feel like I don't know if it's the rolling nature of the hills or something, but the vistas were absolutely incredible. To me, it just felt different. I'll just put that out there. Like, it felt like you were somewhere truly awesome.
The story of Ballyneal really starts with two brothers, Jim and Rupert O'Neill, who would go on to buy the land and build Ballyneal Golf Club. Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys know where Jim and Rupert O'Neill are from?
No.
These guys are locals. They're from Holyoke.
Oh, well, that's...
I mean,
hidden in plain sight, Adam. What a tricker.
Well, it's just crazy. Like, I just thought that was like insane. You don't see that anywhere. I mean, it's always these big developers that are coming in and wanting to buy a golf course. You got the Bob Langs of the world and Mike Kaisers. But these guys, just a couple of locals, and kind of they initially got the idea. Growing up, they would watch the British Open and they would see these courses on TV and they're like, this looks just like what's in our backyard. There needs to be a golf course out here. I mean, this is literally what you see in Ireland and Scotland. It's in our backyard. So a couple decades fast forward, and they eventually in 2001 buy the property, buy the 700 acres, and they give a call to an architect, some guy you guys might know him by the name of Mr. Tommy Doak. And what's kind of interesting during this period is Tom, he's like super busy. I mean, I don't even know how he like eventually ended up building Ballyneal, because he had just Pacific Dunes just opened in 2001. So it's like Tom's busy, right? I mean, like everyone, it's like world renowned. Everybody wants Tom to do their course. And he went and saw the property, and I think he was just like, hey, this is kind of my response to Sand Hills, which is like right down the road, right? I think that was kind of the driving factor for him to kind of go all in and build Ballyneal. And so in June of 2006, the course opened, 18-hole championship course. And since then, they've built things out. They've got lodging on property. They've got an all-world clubhouse. They've got the massive putting green. They've got the Mulligan, the short course. And there may be talks about another 18-hole course. Who knows?
I want to hand off on the property talk. So Adam teed it up there. We're not going to overdo it on the property. We get it. Like, we understand it's private. So normally, like when we did Erin Hills, we're going to tell you the ins and outs of which lodging to book and pro tips and views and rooms. But we do need to do a little bit of a drive by, because I'll say, like, the setup was about as convenient as you could get. Adam just talked about it, but most of your lodging is right there on the practice putting green or the first tee. And next to the first tee and practice putting green, they have a multi-story, bar restaurant that's open almost 24 hours a day. Get whatever you want whenever you want it. Service was awesome. And I'll just say cost, like, we're not going to get into all the details, extremely reasonable. Like, we got our incidentals bill, and honestly, it's probably a better price point, especially for the quality, than most of these high-end public golf courses you go to. So if you get the opportunity, you get the invite, it's going to be fair on the wallet on that front too. I will mention this about the food, the dessert scene. I got a sweet tooth, guys, and it was said that I may have set the Ballyneal record on the most desserts consumed on an extended weekend, but these weren't just like, okay, here's just a pre-made cake and you get a slice, man. Guys, we're talking the gourmet cinnamon rolls, the donut holes. Remember, we were trying to be responsible, and they said they think 8 comes out and 18 came out. Adam said he's going to split them with us. Then he gets his own like cherry cobbler dessert, the milkshake bar, any topping you could think of. You could do a little adult shooter in the milkshake if you wanted.
Let's just go through the desserts right now, the ones that you had. So I've got a list of them. So you had the cinnamon roll skillet. I think you did. I think you had a warm chocolate chip cookie.
I did.
You had the donut holes.
Yeah.
The cookie a la mode, I think you may have had.
Yep. Yeah, I did have that.
You did have
two milkshakes.
2 milkshakes, and I believe an espresso martini. We'll call that a dessert.
And hey, you want me to be critical? We don't want to do a fluff piece on anything. We're going to give you the good, bad, and ugly, even though most of this was good and great. All the desserts were so good. Espresso martini, it wasn't. You can't win them all, but not a good espresso martini. But everything else was pretty awesome. But yeah, no, the convenience there of just being able to like open your door, literally step onto the practice putting green, and then be 10, 20 feet away from the first tee is about as convenient as it gets.
Yeah, there's nothing else going on there. There are no distractions. You pull up, it's not like there's this giant, magnificent building with huge parking lots and you're walking around storing shit. It's just this quaint little place. You pull up, you check right into your accommodations, and you're just on the golf course. And that's all you're doing the entire time you're there. It's like heaven on earth.
And let's talk, and I know we're going to get into details of the course, but guys, court conditions out there, we go to places, private and public, and it can be hit or miss. So we've learned to kind of almost lower our expectations. Obviously, the course is like fescue fairways because it plays link style, Irish, Scottish, firm, fast, but still a good hit, very, very good hitting surface. But guys, these greens, all world. I mean, these were in the top 2-3 green surfaces in terms of conditions I've ever putted on. Now, they're also some of the coolest set of greens I've ever played on, maybe the coolest, but
Yeah, no, they're incredibly smooth, fast as hell. None of your putts are bumping along, and what's cool is because it feels so natural out there. It could because they don't get insane amounts of play because it's there's probably only 50 people on that facility a day at most anyway at a given time, so that makes it a little easier. But yeah, they're perfect.
yeah, I was almost surprised because a lot of times when you have like wild greens, you can't be fast because they are maybe too fast, but they were rolling quick too. I mean, and I think like probably perfect speed to still have a lot of fun pinnable locations. I think really some of those areas there's just a lot of slopes, so it didn't really matter how fast the green was. It's going to be hard to get at some places, but yeah, I mean, if you love amazing greens, like that's about as good of experience as you can get. But I do want to hit on the Mulligan. We love short courses here. So Adam, I don't know if you had any notes on that, but it's a 12 hole short course. But one of the coolest things are like when you go eat lunch when you first get there, their menu is a routing of the Mulligan, but it has, I don't know, whatever it is, the 400 combinations you could play it in, because we'll get into that on the full course, but they don't really have they have defined teeing areas, but they have all these the way it's set up. You could play 1 to 8, 8 to 7, and 7 to 12, and endless combinations of what you want to do. It's basically like a golf playground, but it had some wild greens, awesome features. And I mean, I don't know where I rank it in the pantheon of short courses, but it was one of the most fun loops of golf I've ever had.
Absolutely. It's all, I mean, it looks awesome. If you like hitting wedges and like putting, there's nothing more fun you can do with your time than be on the Mulligan. But one thing it just has to be said is it's not as if, oh, we're getting out on the Mulligan at 110 and then there's a group behind us at 120, so kind of keep it moving. It's like after you're done with the hole, that you can kind of be like, let's play this backwards now, or let's just go into that green over there. And that's what you get to do. So it's just constant like messing around, having fun, just enjoying yourself and hitting golf shots.
Yeah, that makes it.
And kind of going back to course conditions, like the Mulligan was in incredible shape as well. It's like the greens and surrounds on the Mulligan are better than 95% of the places I play around here. I mean,
well, probably by places we travel to. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Shout out to the superintendent. Started following him on Instagram. Him and his team, man, like that's a massive property, and it looks like there's some challenges. Like we looked at some bunkers of like, man, how do you even maintain that? But it's tee to green, pretty much in immaculate shape. So it's incredible stuff. All right, any other things on the Mulligan? Oh, I hit a shot. I hit my first. This is crazy. I've been golfing my whole life. I've chipped left-handed. I've never actually like tried to hit a golf ball left-handed because I'm so psycho. I think it's like going to mess me up. But I did take on a challenge, and from 100 yards, had a nice little pitching wedge. Ted's a lefty, our host, and I'll just say we'll layer the video in. But I hit a golf shot, guys. I was very, very proud of that execution. So
Yeah.
if anybody wants to just
maybe
tell me how
you're
great
naturally a left-handed player. You just kind of got duped into being a right-hander. I don't know.
Well, it's funny though, when I like stop on the video, I have like a DJ level bowed wrist, and I hit like this little, it's just a little controlly in there. It's funny. Whereas when I play right-handed, I have extension with a cupped wrist. So go figure.
Interesting.
But it is interesting. So I do want to get to the course. So when we do these course profiles, we get feedback from you guys every time. Everyone's opinion's a little different. Do you want us to go hole by hole? Do you want us to go shot by shot? Well, we've tried to net out of, hey, let's break it out into chunks that are manageable. We're kind of do it in 3-hole increments so we can collect our thoughts. Some of the holes we're going to drive by on if we don't have a lot to say, and some of the holes we might stick on for a few minutes that something really stood out. But I'm going to kick it off with the first hole. And to Aaron's point earlier, my going into thought was the coolest part when you go to that first tee box is you're not at the peak of the property. We're going to get there to the fourth hole, but you're high enough up at a center point where you get this like 360 pano of the chop hills. And for me, I've never seen anything like it. I've seen pictures, and you see these, aerial overviews and these rolling hills. But again, I'm an ocean guy. We like the views. This was about as cool as it got from a golf when it comes to just slap you in the face views, like that kind of balance of, okay, it's not mountains, it's not oceans, but you have this serenity and amazement because it's just something unique that you haven't seen before. And then you're just teeing off.
That's what I mean. I think I botched it earlier. It's like it feels coastal, even though it isn't. I don't know how to explain it, other than what Adam said about the Lynx Hills, and there's some sort of correlation there, but you feel it. And one is a perfect example for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then as a golf hole, I mean, it kind of this okay. Okay. We should have stated this up front. So Ballyneal is a match play golf course, right? There are teeing areas that you can play holes from. Let's say the first hole, you can play it from 370 yards to 250 yards. And technically, how it works, it's a match play course. Whoever won the hole previously can, select the next tees. We kind of let Ted shepherd us around. So we had some rounds we played all the way back. Some rounds we mixed up different tees. And I'll just say this, that makes for the experience. A lot of when you get done playing golf, what's the first thing everyone asks? What'd you shoot? What'd you shoot? And out there, you can card a score, and it still means something because it's difficult golf, but it's also a lot of birdie opportunities. But being able to play the course multiple times over a few days and really seeing the brilliance of, oh man, actually playing this on a up tee is shorter, but it's not easier. It brings in this risk reward decision. The angle is a lot harder. It just made it kind of like you said on the Mulligan, Aaron, of like, you can just go now on the main course. You didn't finish a hole and play it backwards, but knowing you could play the main course a few times over a couple days, you didn't feel anxiety of like, oh, I'm missing something by playing it too far back or too close.
When I heard about it up front, that, this course doesn't have an official rating. You don't even really submit scores there. There's no official tee boxes. I was sort of unsure. I'm like, this like, don't you want to go to like a real course and we can try hard and card a score? I am totally of the opposite frame of mind now. It's the coolest thing ever. Like, especially if you have a really well-designed course like this, whereby he knows what he's doing. When I move a tee box 10 yards to the left or 20 yards up or whatever, it completely changes the look and feel of the hole. And you get so many different experiences per hole. It does feel like you're more in the moment with your friends too, because you're like making a decision and, trying to bait people into maybe what's the right shot that you want to hit versus what they're not doing well. I mean, it's just fun. It just adds a whole other layer of just enjoyability. Is that a word? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the perfect example of what you just said is number one. I mean, the first time that we played it, we kind of played it from one of the 4 teeing areas, and it's kind of just makes for a straight, par 4. And then the second time we played, and the first time I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of lukewarm on number 1. But then the second time we played it, we went back to like the far back tee that's like right next to the putting green, and you're kind of down in this valley and hitting up across the fairway, and it just provides for like a completely different hole. I think like that's the teeing area to use. I think it takes it from like a B+ hole to like an A+ hole when you use that back area.
Yeah, and I won't just restate what you said. And then you get up to the green, and that's where playing it multiple times helps too, right? Like, it's a 2-tiered green from a different sense. It's not a 2-tiered green north and south. It's a 2-tiered green split, vertically east and west, where the right side sits higher than the left, and then there's this pitch from back to front. And it's just got an awesome view when you get up to that green. And I'll just say this: it's actually a contender from that back tee of like one of my favorite opening holes in golf. It's certainly, I don't know if it's like number 1, but it's in my top 5, 6 openers. And that green is awesome. And why is it great? It's not a long par 4, but it's a variable par 4 without a trick, without a gimmick, with giving you space off the tee. You feel like you're going to have a wedge in your hand. So birdie is on the table, but bogeys are on the table. And we saw the whole gamut. We had everything from near eagles to a double, and it was through not really bad golf. It was just through how the design of the hole is and where a pin would be. We get into number 2,
the most underrated golf hole on the course. Number 2.
Well,
wow.
So that's okay. I'm glad. So why do you feel that way?
I don't really know. It's all it's feel. Like, let me try to explain my emotions about it. It's a long par 4, and it's demanding. You can slam your driver though. You can just get up there and try to rip one. Has a little room to cut it. The second shot is so incredibly demanding. You're probably hitting a hybrid or a long iron. Huge hill in front of the green on the right. Massive green with tons of break to it. I think it looks exceptionally pretty. It's just an absolutely beautiful hole. And it kind of, if you par it, you feel awesome. It's definitely kind of, you earn your score on that hole. I know Adam didn't love it as much as me, but I think for whatever reason, I just
Mr. Goldie
good to
birdied it the first time around, I think.
Yeah, and then I think Aaron and Ted birdied it up the next loop, and yeah, it is supposed to be one of the hardest holes on the course. I think it's one of those ones because it's like it plays close to 500 yards if you're all the way back, but you can get some speed slot, and it's very firm, so you can get a reasonable club in your hands into the green. But into the wind, it's probably a beast, and it's a hard hole. I've had a criticism. I think the right side of that green might be a little too extreme for right pins. But look, I'm trying to be objective and have nitpicks where I can. But overall, it's a good little second hole to kind of be like, oh, you like that first hole? You had serenity. Okay, let me slap you in the face a little. But then you get to turn right into number 3, which is their postage stamp short par 3, one of the coolest par 3s in golf. Who wants to walk us through the emotional ups and downs of that hole? We had birdies, we had ejections, we had hitting the pin, almost draining it. I mean, somebody let us live through you.
I never played this hole very well every time we played it, I don't feel like. And you know what? It almost kind of seems like Doak put a little Pete Dye into this par 3 because I feel like there was some visual stuff going on where I just never really felt comfortable. And I think it's a hole that plays with your depth perception too. I mean, a lot of times I thought it was great, like the shot I hit, and it just like all of a sudden it just keeps rolling to the back, and all of a sudden it's in this death bunker in the back of the green, and I'm like, I had no idea that like that was gonna happen. But yeah, I know you guys loved it, right? I mean, is it y'all's favorite par 3, or we want to go there? Or?
Yeah. I mean, for me it was, but I think I liked it too because if you did get a centerish flag, you could kind of just go at it. But realistically, like you had slopes left and slopes right, and you had to make a decision and be confident and use it. Because if you went right at a pin, like you had a couple shots that weren't bad that you hit, hole high or a couple yards past the hole, but it's so firm. And you have these kind of micro slopes. If you hit the backside of one, man, you're ejected off the green. So had to play a number short, which is weird because most of these were gap wedges to pitching wedges into this hole anyways. But you had to have a little side sauce on it, man, whether it's right to left, left to right. But yeah, I loved it, man. I was one of the best par 3s that I've ever played.
How could you complain?
You can't play anything other than a TP5 though, because
yeah, we learned. Aaron,
play a ball that don't go the distance you needed to go.
But Aaron, what you like 3, didn't you, man? You had a couple. You had a bird in there, nearly a hole in one.
I had a hole in one. Is that what you said?
No, it's nearly a hole in one.
Yeah, nearly a hole in one. I mean, I think it hit the.
We'll deep fake it. We'll deep fake it on AI. We'll just have it instead of it hitting the lip. We'll have it go in.
Like I said, there's none to complain about. When you get a par 3 where you get a chance to hit a wedge and put one close, it's amazing. And like Adam said, he does some funky visual stuff. Like he baits you on the right, but if you don't get your distance right coming in from the right, you will go back into some crazy sand traps where you're screwed. I mean, you're making a 5 out of there. So you just have to hit a confident wedge shot, and then you have a chance at doing something special.
But then you finish 3 and you take the trek up the hill and you get the reveal of the property, right? You're at the highest point of the property on number 4. You got a par 5, wide fairway, hit them if you got them, tee the bitch up, let it fly. And just really one of the prettiest reveals. We always talk about reveals, but it really is one of the cooler moments. And as great of a golf hole as 3 is, then you get to that 4 tee box. And I think when we did it the first loop, we looked at each other and we're like, oh, like this is no matter what happens the rest of the time, this is awesome.
It's the best inland golf reveal I think that's got to be out there. I know we talk about 16 at Old Barnwell a lot, Goldie.
Yeah,
I think it's better than that, even though I love 16 at Old Barnwell, but this is special. Honestly, this probably rivals some of the reveals you get on the ocean at Bandon Dunes and some of those other properties.
Yeah, it's in the conversation, not inland reveal. It's in the conversation of just best reveal in general. But then you get it, like I said, then you hit It's fun because you can kind of unleash a drive. The hole doesn't effectively play long since you're teeing off down and it's firm. But with wind, we learned that with wind, you get a little bit of wind in, all of a sudden you have 220 into that green or 230. You don't have wind, you might have 170 in or something like that. But it has a very elevated green, and it's one of these ones like Aaron was talking about earlier. It's like right there. It's a big green, but you hit the wrong side of a slope. You come up 5 yards short. You're ejected down the, to the runoffs. So again, another great hole because I feel like it was playable for all levels. We saw an eagle, we saw multiple birdies, but we saw pars, bogeys, and double bogeys of just ping ponging back and forth. But yeah, I think Ted said he didn't love 4, and I was like, man, I think 4 is at a perfect moment in the golf course. I don't know. Any other thoughts on 4?
I agree. I love it. I kept trying to give myself a wedge into the hole, but you have some really severe slopes you're hitting off of to just very, delicate areas
Yeah.
on the green. So it didn't work. You just kind of want to slam that second shot and give yourself a chip if you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're hoping to make birdie, but it's hard. It's awesome
Yeah.
hole.
It is. And now, we're getting to 5 and 6, and I'm just going to say there are features on 5 and 6 that are cool. I don't have a lot to say. These are two of when I say least favorite holes on the course, they're still cool golf holes. I just don't have a ton. Like this, I didn't love this par 3. I thought the green was it was interesting with certain pins, and then certain pins I found it to be a little benign.
I know that. I know this is a hot take, but I think that's my favorite par 3. Number 5.
Why?
I'm glad you asked because I can't even really put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of tucked back there and kind of like the back of the property. It feels like it's away from everything. It's got that small little pot bunker right there in the front.
I do like that bunker.
Yeah, it just looks, I don't know, to the eye, it just,
yeah.
I can't put my finger on it.
All right, so number 6, par 4. Again, I thought the tee shot was a little benign, and the approach shot is a little, and not the most exciting stuff after you just did the stretch of 1 to 4, but it does have a cool green. That's kind of a common theme, but I would say this was honestly low key one of the harder holes on the course. It seems like everybody, the tee shot was deceptively a little intimidating, even though you have space. The green was just kind of difficult to get anything near a pin, and you leave it on the top side, you got a super speeder, you leave it below, you're off the green on this tight lie. So yeah, I would say deceptively difficult. Not my favorite golf hole though.
Occasionally, you just got to earn a score on a par 4.
I respect it.
Yeah,
no, I do respect it
because the next year you get a little wacky.
Yeah, so let's fast track to that. So 7, 8, and 9 is really, really awesome stretch. So 7, guys, we have endless stuff. I don't even know how to describe it. It's one of the most unique drivable par 4s I've ever played. We're going to be flashing right now all the angles of this green. Adam, what would you even describe it as? It's kind of like this long E shape. It's very with these massive slope to the left and protective bunkers to the right. Super cool. I don't know. We played it 4 times, and every time we played it, it was as fun as the last. Gives you options. You have a blind tee shot. If you hit a hook around the dune there, you can have a chance at glory and holding that green. We had a couple people do that, but you could also just lay up, and you could then have the 40-yard bump and run. You could putt from there. You could use the side slope. I saw some of the 4 of the coolest shots I've ever seen, just hitting approach shots into that.
And I don't want to speak for Adam. I think him and we had different shots, but we each had the same shot 3 times in a row. I had this putt from the front of the green. I was off the green. I hit a good drive. Adam was hitting a good drive, but he's up in the right. Every time I hit that putt, it was fun though. It was different, you could do it differently. Go up way left, take way more of the bank, try to get right at it, cut the bunker on the right. I mean, just for a stupid lag putt, it was truly enjoyable. Adam hit a couple of the best wedges I've seen you ever hit from up in the rough on the right to these tiny little areas. It's awesome.
Yeah, Golf Digest named this hole the best seventh hole built in America this century, which
What?
I'm not sure if it's even the best hole at Bally as far as hole goes. To me, it's the most fun. It's the most enjoyable hole out there that I love to play. All the reasons you
Yeah.
guys just stated, just the options off the tee box, the options once you're approaching the green. It just makes for like a super fun hole that each time we got to that tee box, I was so excited to be there.
Yeah, dude, it was that's the marking of, isn't that why you're playing golf? Like, it's okay to have some fun during the round. And like, yeah, the idea that
By the way, you hit the green, Goldie. That's a 10 out of 10 shot. I mean, I know it's still probably like 290, but there's just getting it into that spot is insanely
yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but something about
some
out
good
there, just
funneling.
like, yeah, it's but what a dick.
the funnels go in a lot of different
Yeah,
directions,
yeah,
though.
you could funnel in a lot of ways, but
Yeah.
no, man, it really did. I don't know, something about that hole too. It just seemed perfectly done for that point of the round. And then you skip over to 8, and you just had this cool experience. You get to 8, and I don't know, it's fascinating, the right term. Like, you look at it and you're like, holy shit! Like, you're aiming at this massive kind of blowout bunker on the right, and it's that damned if you do, damned if you don't. You want to push it up as far as you can to have a chance to go at the green in 2. But the further you push it up, the more obscured you are. Or if you're a little right, you're like kind of blinded completely. And you're talking big features, guys. I mean, again, we'll have pictures and videos, but if you're
Mhm.
listening, it's not like, oh, there's a 4-foot tall bunker there. You're talking about like a 25-foot blowout sand dune. So, like, I pushed it up one time to where I only had a 6-iron into the green, but I was nervous I couldn't get a 6-iron over the dune, and I was like 15 yards, off of it. So it's a wild like tee shot and approach. But I think the secret side, y'all jump into anything you want. That green is that green is absolutely nuts. I have some takes on anything front pin.
The green's nuts. 8 is incredible, though, from the look, from the tee box. And so the way I think about this course, the front 9 is really fun and gettable, and the back 9 is like just smack you in the face and something happens. It's like the back 9's like on steroids. And
Yeah.
like, think about that literally. Like, things like start popping up on the course. Like, all of a sudden, the fairway looks like a muscle back fairway and it's elevated. And like,
Yeah.
everything is so much more dramatic on the back 9. But 8 is when you start to feel it. 7 kind of shows you something, and then 8, it's like it's going up, right? It's elevated up. There's all these crazy spots you can miss where it falls off, giant bunkers, hidden green. But you don't have a tremendous amount of distance, like you said, so you got a
Yeah.
chance at it. But if you don't hit a perfect shot, you have a very, very delicate chip to a nutso green, and you're fighting for 5. So I found it to be a very fun hole.
I do like that take though. 8 is kind of like your precursor to like, oh, you're gonna go play like 6 or 7 of these holes on the back 9 to where every shot is gonna matter, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have an opportunity, but you're gonna miss some shots, and like, there you miss short right, you're dead. You miss long left in the bunkers, you're dead. Short left, you at least have a chance, but it's still extremely difficult. But Adam, you look like you're chiming, or do you want to get in there?
No, that hole was like the puzzle that I don't think I ever figured out. I feel like it's just when the pin's in the front, it's almost like you settle for it's a 3-shotter and you lay up.
So number 9, I don't know. I guess I could say it's maybe my least favorite hole on the property. It's kind of a connector to the back 9.
Mhm.
I don't know. You kind of hit like a 220 shot off the tee, and then it's obscured view, and the green sits in like what would you call it? Like a valley or a bowl down there. You don't really see the green that you're hitting to. And I know, Adam, I know you said you like this hole or like the green. So if you want to ride for it, go ahead. I just thought it's a connector hole to the back 9 for me.
No, I mean, I thought it was more interesting than what you just laid out. I get it. Like you're hitting a hybrid or iron to that necked part of the fairway, but from there you can kind of play a variety of shots. It allows you to land something short of the green and kind of run it up onto the green, or if you just want to fly it there and put the sauce on it. Which I don't know if we really talked about this, but man, you couldn't really put any spin like on these greens. I
Oh, yeah,
mean,
they were firm.
they were firm. But yeah, no, I enjoy 9. I get it. You're kind of getting back to the clubhouse area. It's not anything special, but I thought overall it was a good short par 4.
Gives you time to order up some drinks.
Yeah, get your drinks ready
Yep.
to meet you at the turn, and then you need those drinks because you're about to get punched in the face with some fair but challenging golf holes, and it starts with number 10. So
10's crazy.
It's funny,
know-
like when you're down on 9 green, it's very calm, and you're in that bowl, and then as soon as you walk up the steps to 10 green, it just feels like you're entering hell because like the wind just
Here-
hits you in the face, and it's like, well, let's go, baby! You're entering the Thunderdome.
I think 10 is what I have to remind myself that this is supposed to be a match play course, right? It's not supposed to be like you're concerned with stroke play because but I'm kind of measuring how I feel about the course through the lens of stroke play. And I know that that's not fair on some holes, but 10's insane. Like you see this view, it's extremely intimidating with this crazy slope that goes right to left in the fairway. And the reality is you can have an easy tee shot if you just hit that slope, but then you're like way, 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 way below the surface of the green. You have the opposite slope of the green working against it. And it's like you're probably going to bogey at 50+% of the time if you're on that left slope. My only thing with Ted, and he was like, well, the aggressive play is you just go over this bunker on the right and you could stay up on the flat and you got a green light into this green. The problem is that landing area is literally like 7 yards effectively. You have sand dunes on the right, a bunker short, and this little sliver of flat. So it's like, is that even really a practical play? Maybe in match play you're being hyper aggressive and you can leave one up there, but it seemed like we played it 4 times, and of the 12 drives, I think 10 of our drives ended up down in that bowl area to the left. So I get it. It's like a welcome to the back 9 moment. It's super long. It's over 500 yards. But being as long as it is, it's like it's just there's not really a practical way of holding the right side of that, in my opinion.
No, it's truly a par 4.5. And I think if you allow yourself to believe that when you start, like maybe you give yourself a chance to execute the hole properly, because it is insanely demanding as a par 4 and probably too easy as a par 5. So it's just good luck. Hope you have a good short game on that hole.
You said it though. I mean, every single tee shot, I found myself on that left side, just down in like the depths of hell, and like you can't see the green. You don't really know how far you need to hit it, and it's just a very, very difficult approach shot. And I never figured that one out.
I can't wait for the members to listen to this one. They're gonna love this because I think they love 10. They love that it just drives the guests nuts. But
I respect 10.
Yeah, you got to have those out there.
But then you get to 11, a hole it's a par 3 that I do have a lot of respect for because, we talked about how playing different tees on these par 4s and 5s can really change the experience of the hole. On 11 for a par 3, it's so cool because it sits really high up. It's relatively flat of a green compared to what you see on the rest of the course. But you can play it like 125 yards where you're just looking at a pop bunker. It almost reminded you of like 8 at Sand Valley, that short par 3 that's straight up the hill with a bunker in the front. But when we start playing it back, it's another one of these like super, super amazing view that you get kind of a 360 pano. And while it seems basic, I don't know why. I just love this golf hole. There was a simplicity to it. Maybe it's just like after 10 was so bold and so wild, and then you get to 11, and there's like a class to it and a simplicity. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's another one. You just have to believe me when I say, like, you're on the green and it feels like you're on a coastal golf course. You're just really elevated. You're looking out around you like, wow, like I made it. I'm on vacation. This is the only place I want to be. That's how you feel on 11.
12, Adam. You love 12, right? And I do too. It's another short-ish. I mean, it's like 380-yard par 4 with just hogs back fairways, kind of choose your own adventure. Do you want to be left? Do you want to be right? Do you want to take on some pop bunkers? And so, Aaron, I think that's a big part of the back 9 that's different. The front 9, you could I think the back 9, you have the same amount of space off the tee. but there's way more trouble in play in terms of like pop bunkers and fairway bunkers where you find yourself playing away from stuff. Where the front nine, it's more you just kind of hit it wherever you want, go find it and hit it again. So here you amplify it because you can really get in some trouble off the tee. But then this green, man, I don't even know how to describe it. Adam, how would you describe what this green plays like?
Yeah, it's my favorite green on the course. There's just like a massive shelf that kind of runs through the middle, and you've got these like distinct pockets all around the green as well. Yeah, I struggle to describe it, but it's just there's just a lot going on and a lot of different ways to get down to the hole. And just looking on the tee box, like this is where it kind of helps to play the course over and over again because you kind of unlock, new things that you didn't discover the first time around. And the first time around, like I didn't fully get it, but the second or third time, I'm like, man, there's a lot of options on the tee box. Do you do what Ted did and drive the green, or do you kind of stay back? You want to be on the left-hand side. I found that out pretty quickly, especially with a left pin. So it's just like, again, it's this very strategic short par 4, and I love them. That's my thing. I can't get off of them.
And I like how Ted said he could drive the hole with a driver, but he's played it enough to know that when he does that, he automatically takes an iron the next time he plays the hole because he doesn't want to kind of, run out of that good luck that you need to get up there because there's too many places you can miss. There's too many bounces it can take. So big time risk reward.
Speaking of trouble for par, if we didn't think number 10 was fun enough, another 500-yard par 4, the 13th hole, I don't know. I call it landmine because it's like pick your poison. You lay back, you're done with this green. So you're going to bomb a driver, 3-wood out there. But when you do, you're taking on, there's a right bunker, a center bunker, a left bunker. And it's tough, demanding tee shot from that regard. But then also, like, if you're not left and the pin is right, which it was 2 of the 4 times we played it, you're toast, man. Like you can't get anything within 20 yards of a pin. And then sometimes even left, you think you hit a good shot. And it's just, I would say that the right side of that green is probably the only one I would call the fair word, the F word, unfair. If they could do something on the right side of that green to make it a little more fun or a little more accessible. I think there's some polarizing opinions here because 14, we just get off of a beast of a par 5 on 4 on a par 13th hole. This is a shorty, but it's protected by one center bunker, and you have to make a choice. Do you either go like 215, 220 short of that bunker and then have like 150 shot into a very difficult green, or do you want to tempt fate to a smaller landing area and bomb a drive over it? I think through the course of 4 rounds, we all tried different strategies. I think I was the only asshole that actually hit in that bunker, which almost seems like impossible to do because when you get up there, it's like so much space, and there's this little 5x5 pop bunker, and you hit right in the middle of it. I personally loved 14, but Aaron, I think you hated it.
I hated it. It was the only hole that really reminded me of the worst parts of Erin Hills, where it felt unattainable to me. And the one time I probably need to play it 5 more times and then I'd get it. But the one time I hit a really good drive, I'm just in this soft sand where you're impossible to compress the ball. Just can't get up to the green. You try to hit it to the green, it bounces over it. You try to hit a delicate chip onto the green, it rolls over the green and way down 60 yards to the bottom of that hill again, and you're in kind of some soft terrain. It just felt like too difficult. I don't
It did strike me though as one of those holes. The more I learned about it, the harder it got. Because the first day we played it, I hit just right at the center line bunker and had like 130 in, and I hit a good shot. And Ted, we get up there, and I don't know if he's gassing us up because we're guests first day. He's like, Andrew, seriously, literally to a right pin. I've never seen a golf shot anywhere near this flag before. That was like the best shot. And I'm sitting there like, I mean, I hit like a choke pitching wedge and hit a good shot. And then when we played the hole a few times and you're like, holy shit, I'm like, had no business being anywhere near that flag. But then the green, it's like subtle, but it's insane. Like you bail out left, and you saw it, Aaron, you were long left a couple times. You just chip off the green. Your putt is rolling at like a 15, 16 coming down that slope. But I'll say, I don't know why. Something about it I actually really, really liked. Maybe it was the idea of once I knew what to do and it was the final round, we finally hit drivers over the bunker, which may or may not be a good idea because you have an awkward wedge in. But as long as you just take your medicine and like front left of the green, like it's a par hole, even though it's short, like you just got to get out of there with a par. And even though it tempts you into being aggressive, but you get ejected.
I would never call that a par hole. It was collectively 9 to 11 over in 3 days on that hole.
I think that green side's just so cool. The way it sits up there on top of that dune, and then the right side just like melts off into nothing.
And I will say, Aaron, that's another really good comp. Like it did remind me, especially the approach shot of Aaron Hill's. But the difference is like, it's like Aaron Hill's. Like I said, if you got one of those aside or one of them on the course, I'd have been good with it. The problem with Aaron Hill's, it was like 50% of the holes, it was the same unattainable nonsense. So, but then you get to 15. I don't know how I feel about 15. Par 3, you can play at 150 to 245 yards. Is it a punch bowl technically? I don't know.
It's kind of like a version, but like a par 3 version of an Alps hole and a punch bowl kind of mixed together.
Yeah. I mean, the green is as big as my house or bigger. I mean, I don't know. That sounds like a flex.
You live in a very nice house.
It's that. Yeah. You should see my carpet. It's rolling out of 12. Gosh, golfers are the fucking worst. What was that? That was the best poll I could come up with from that comment. But yeah, it's like this bowl. You can go left, you can go right, you can go short, and there's a lot of ways to access it. And we played it like from 200 to 245 yards. It plays down, so effectively maybe 15 off of that, 20 off of it. I don't know, like. I thought where it sits in the course, I was totally good with. I don't know if I love the hole. I think the green's a little much, but where it's at in position and how the back nine's vibe is, I think I liked it.
I wasn't the biggest fan.
Too extreme.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't like steroids.
It's just it was a long par 3, and then it's kind of blind too. You don't really get to see your ball land or where it goes. And then when we played it up one day. And I think Mr. Goldie got ejected and hated it. But yeah, I don't think it makes it a better golf hole when you play it up. It's meant.
I thought it was best the further back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those holes where you've got a big ridge in the green, and if you cut the hole too close to the ridge, you kind of eliminate half the green. Because when we played it short, I hit a perfect 8-iron, or what I thought was, and I ended up 3-putting. I had no chance of 2-putting. I mean, tried, but you know what I mean? It's like, so you really just have to know how to place your shot there. You got to hit more of a runner, whatever. You just got to know what you're doing.
So that was kind of my point on 2. I feel like 2 and 15 have similarities that it's so severe on the right that if the pin is anything right center, it's almost, I guess you would just say, well, if you know that the play is, you just got to play it 30 yards left and try to 2-putt, but I don't, anyways. But then you get to 16, guys. I don't know. There's not like a signature hole at Ballyneal, but if there's a golf hole that made me feel more emotions in my life, I don't think there is than the 16th hole at Ballyneal, a par 5 dogleg left to where you're basically just hitting it as far as you can to get to the dogleg to have a clear shot at this green. When it's easier said than done because you have another big kind of dunes feature over there on the right. And then you got sand dunes all up the left. So it's not an easy tee shot, but the adventure really starts on the approach. Like considering you're probably going to have 200 yards into this par 5 and it looks like you got a plenty of space to operate with. I've not seen more wild golf shots, good and bad, and scores good and bad. We had eagles. We probably, if we weren't scooping a couple, probably had some quads that would have been carded. And I'll be honest, I went from hating this hole to appreciating this hole over the course of a weekend. And it's not just because of how I finished on it. I just kind of understood the assignment. And like, you got to be willing. I like it because you got to be fucking willing to hit a golf shot in there. There's not a conservative shot. Like, if you're going to if you're going to go for that green in 2, you have to be so specific of which side, which slope, where you're comfortable in missing. Because you come up, certainly short left, short right, you're like dunzo. So, but then you're long, and you better have some delicate touch, because it's very easy to ping pong back and forth over that green.
Yeah, there's a lot of decisions to be made on that approach, and it starts at the tee box, because the fairway does kind of gently roll from left to right, so everything wants to push your ball further away from the hole. But you can go far. You can contend with that left hand side and have a much shorter shot into the green. But most of the time, I found myself hitting that cut and finding myself a lot further away. And so at that approach, like, you're trying to figure out, okay, you've got this like massive dune that kind of pinches into the fairway. Do you want to lay up short of that and have a longer approach in? Do you want to carry over that? There's just like 1,000 different decisions. And yeah, the green, I mean, it's pretty insane. Mr. Golfer, maybe I'll give him the floor on the green, because there was, I think, the first 2 times we played it, did you chip off the green or putt off the green?
Yeah, I chipped off the green from behind it.
Chipping for eagle, chipping for birdie, chipping for par. It's one of those holes.
Totally. It's definitely not a birdie hole. I mean, it's hard as hell. Incredibly demanding. Yeah, you guys loved it, and Ted loves it. I think it's his favorite hole on the course.
Is that
right?
what he said? Yeah, he said it's his favorite hole. I think because it's at this critical. You think that's where I grew to appreciate it, because it's par 5, 16th hole. You just had a brute. It's not particularly long. You probably can get there in 2. So you, as a golfer, you have these expectations of what could be, and then you just hit that shot and you're like, oh God, now you're just trying to par the hole. So that's where I guess I grew to appreciate it, but it's not easy by any means.
Well, let's not bury the lead here. Our final round, you were contending for a flag, right? You were hovering right around par.
Can you remind the audience of what the flag game is?
Yeah, so it's basically for you guys. If either one of you guys breaks par at one of these courses, the other, whoever's involved or playing has to buy a flag for whoever broke par. And we went into 16. Were you 1 over at that point?
In that round, I was 1 over.
Yeah, and
hit one of the cooler second shots.
Yeah.
An ill-advised shot. It's the shot Goldie hits where I always get slightly annoyed. It's way too low, way too punchy. I'm like, can't you just fly something high in like Jewel would do, where it just 100 feet in the air and just lands right next to the hole? But that was the craziest shot I've ever seen.
I hit a low cut spinner in there and rode the ridge. We had, the heart was beating because it was on the line of potential albatross, but yeah, hit it to, got it a little bit. I hit it to about 3.5 feet and made the eagle. We're 1 under. The flag is locked in. What could go wrong?
Also happened on the hole, Adam and I were playing the exact same golf ball, and we hit our drives within 1 foot of each other.
All right. We're coming live from Ballyneal in the closing stretch of the final round. We got an issue here, though. We got no free ads. We got a TaylorMade 2 with the line TP5. And of course, out of everything else you could play, we got a TaylorMade 2 with the line TP5.
Yeah, but his ain't got no gashes on it.
No gashes. You guys comfortable?
His is a faded red line.
Faded red versus full red. You heard it here, folks. Faded lines versus full lines. What a cool golf hole.
You had to literally investigate the balls to figure out who was who. And then our second shots landed within 2 feet of each other up on a dune.
The reason Aaron and I were playing the same golf ball is because Aaron, you were playing Pro V. Somebody gave you Pro Vs. You didn't really like the Pro Vs. I had some TP5s. I gave you some of my TP5s. So we were playing the exact same golf ball.
No, you saved me. I appreciate it.
But
someone tried to give me a Pro V1, like that ball's even good.
Yeah, what you
it's not. It goes like 5 to 7 yards shorter.
It's specifically with short clubs, it goes 5 to 7 yards shorter. It's proven out. But so, we get there. I'm 1 under on that round now, but you get to 17. 17 again,
Crazy.
crazy fucking. I don't even know what you call it in the fairway.
Does muscle back fairway mean something? I know that's a club term, but I feel like it works.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like
it's
give
just
this whole steroids. It's just mass. It's so crazy looking.
yeah, but if the thing is, like, it gives you some space, but if you catch those slopes right, which we all found out a couple times, you feel like you hit a good drive, and you get up there and you just funnel to these bunkers that are 180 out, way below the surface of the green. You can't even hit a club that could get there. You're kind of almost laying up at that point. But it is it's a fair golf hole. It gives you enough space, but it's a damn hard for a pretty benign green. Again, it's a very difficult par 4, which seems to be a common theme of the back nine of Ballyneal.
Yeah, I think I was hearing Doak talk about 17. I think it's like the most earth moving that they had to do on any of the holes, and that kind of that bridge that runs through the middle of it used to be, it was like massive, and they had to kind of like shave it down to make it, a little bit more gentle, even though it's still, everything still funnels all the way down to the right, unless you get, there's like a, I don't know, a 10-foot landing area on the left where if you landed up there, then you're in position A. Otherwise, you're going all the way down to the right, and you're gonna have a blind approach shot. And Mr. Goldie, I know we're talking about
So,
your round floating with par.
I look, it's not about me, but I gotta just, as much as I love Ted fucked me. Because
See, this is what I was worried was going to happen the whole time, and then he eventually did.
Yes. So Ted,
You're not gonna shoot par on my course.
yeah, man. Yeah, I could see some psyop. So I was on the left. We used left tee boxes our 3 rounds we played there. But for some reason, while I just hey, this will be fun. Let's use the right tee boxes, and it was like 25 yards further right. And I just came off of Eagle, and I'm focused. I hit a drive to where I pretty much my target line of where I hit the previous 3 drives and hit it good, or hit it pretty decent. At least hit my line. And we got up there, and that was not the right line because I caught the massive muscle back or whatever the hell it is. And I guess it funneled down. We don't even see my ball. So at first I was like, oh, I think I hit it past the bunkers. Not only was it not past the bunkers, my ball was that classic, like 9 inches into a bunker to where I had to take a 60 degree and just advance it 70 yards. So, all we had to do was be on any other teeing area, and that drive I hit would have been perfectly on the top side of the fairway. I would have had probably about a 7-8 iron into the green, but I didn't. And I ended up hitting the 3rd shot on and having a 15-footer for par and missing it. So back to even. So the flag is now off the table, but 18's gettable, right? It's 18th hole. So in 18, it's probably the easiest. It's the easiest tee shot on the back nine. You can it's like 120 yards wide. It feels like you kind of just rear back hit it as far as you want. I guess you make the hole a little shorter if you take it up the left. But pretty benign. It kind of slightly right to left, slightly works back uphill. The green is protected by some front bunkers, slightly elevated. My only issue with it is we caught it on that final day when I needed a birdie downwind, and you got to wedge into the green, downwind, firm greens. Really, really borderline impossible to get anything like inside of 10 feet. So that's not a criticism of the hole. It's just the happenstance. It'd be one day where you kind of wish you were blowing like 15 India and you could hit a 9-iron spinner in there and just have it land next to the hole. But that was not on the card straight downwind, unfortunately, on that final day.
Can't be long.
Yeah, it can't be long.
If it makes any sense, the 2 holes that feel not out of place for the course, but just different are 14, the one that like Aaron Hills, and then 18 to me. It's the most traditional looking hole, that's for sure. It was a little soft, like in front of the green. So like if you don't hit the green on 18, like you're just going to have, if you're behind it, forget about it. It's another one that you're running it off the front and then in this really soft kind of delicate chipping area and you're kind of screwed. Adam and I both experienced that once or twice. Just a really, probably there's a simpler way to approach that hole. You just got to like figure it out. Like I've already played a hard enough course. I had to take my medicine on 18, hit my cut drive, hit my iron to the middle of the green on the right side, and just do everything I can to two putt. You tried to get too aggressive, right? And you ended up in that front bunker and screwed.
That was the round before.
Oh,
I put in the bunker. Yeah. So yeah, we didn't even talk about that. I had another chance at it on the the round before, and I put it in the front bunker.
Go. Stay plugged.
Heck yeah. For the brand, baby.
That was all for the brand. I didn't want to finish out the round. But this one, I actually hit the green, and I had a chance at the birdie for the final round and just missed it. But it was like a 20-footer, and probably, again, one of those ones that were rolling at like a 16 straight down the hill. So, but hey guys, but I think that's a fair way of saying it. It was the most traditional kind of bland hole. Just gets you back to the clubhouse. It's a Doak special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just makes you a little sad because the round's ending. That's all.
Yeah.
My only notes were: don't be long, don't be short.
That's good.
I mean, other than that,
then
it's fine.
And then, a cool Ballyneal tradition of the loser of the match has to carry their opponent's bag up a very long, steep hill, and you do a walk of shame to the clubhouse. And guess what else they do there? They start telling the member what their time was. We learned that too. If you guys came in at 4:02, you guys were 3:58, you're 4:04. They don't mess around. They like you moving out there, even without anybody behind you. It's a humble brag to get around that course in less than 4 hours. So, but gentlemen, so we kind of crashed course all 18 holes there. I'll just say, maybe let me kick it over to Adam. Adam, what are your overarching thoughts on Ballyneal as a course of like, where's this net out on you as an experience, as a rank of on the big course, etc.?
Oh man. So when we got done, in my brain, I was like constantly comparing it to Old Barnwell. I feel like these two courses in my ranking are like very, very close to one another. I think in the end, I net out that I like Ballyneal more than Old Barnwell, which I love Old Barnwell. So like kind of tells you how much I really enjoyed Ballyneal. But just like overall as a golf experience, I know we've all talked about it. Usually we're going to these destination courses and we're driving around and we're taking shuttle buses and playing a bunch of different courses. And this was really our first taste of, a private golf retreat where you're going to be staying for a couple of days and playing the same course over and over again. And man, like just an incredible golf experience, like all around. Like when you're playing a private course, I mean, usually they're built and set up to be played multiple times. It's not just like one of those where you play it one time, like these destination courses, and they kind of set it up that way where they're catering towards the resort golfer. I mean, this place is like beloved by all of its members. I know I've heard Doak even talk about it. Like the members at Ballyneal like love this place. They cherish it. And yeah, I mean, I can see why. What's that?
I said they'll let you know.
Oh,
in a good way, but yeah, they will let you know.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah. Ballyneal is absolutely incredible. It's hard to figure out what to complain about if you're going to try. The whole experience from, I mean, you get to just golf from the second you wake up to the second you go to bed, because that par 3 course is just available. So play it until the sun is down and you can't see anything anymore. And you're going to be surrounded by just a ton of people who are in that exact frame of mind. They're just there to golf. There's nothing else to do. And you got to be a true golfer to even want to be there anyway. So you're just surrounded by great community. And I tried to really think about like the question where if you could be dropped on a golf course today, anywhere on earth, and it's got to be the courses you've played. I'm sure there's some magical places I've yet to go. But I'm like, well, I've always, Sheep Ranch is always in my head because I think it's the coolest land site there is, though I know the golf course is a little lacking. And Pebble, like, holy shit. I mean, you play some of the coolest holes ever. But Ballyneal I think it's in like my top 1 or 2. It might be my favorite course I've ever played, taking everything into account. The conditions, the different looks it gives you. I think it's truly the kind of course where if you go play there over and over again, you will come out a much better golfer.
The desserts.
It's like the desserts. I mean,
you will come out a much fatter golfer.
no,
if
you
go
won't, because you have to walk
You're
so damn
walking.
much. That's the other thing, which is not my favorite thing to do, but who cares? I appreciate it for what it is. I'm glad there aren't carts rolling all over that place. But that course asks everything of you. Every kind of shot you can hit, and you can think about it 100 different ways, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's maintained perfect, and I can't wait for Ted to have us out again. But yeah, I think one of my favorite golf courses ever.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to just restate what you guys said, but it's I can't stamp the table on my final rankings of golf courses, but it's in my top 4. And in terms of golf trips, that was my favorite golf trip I've ever been on. Just the open closed, Bandon Dunes is different. It's like Adam said, it's a resort. You're playing like the 5 courses and you're shuttling around. That's probably the best golf resort in the United States, maybe in the world. But from a singular destination, that was my favorite golf trip in the United States. And that's going to be very hard to ever eclipse. So huge shout out to everybody there, the whole management team, the front office staff, back office staff, everyone's super, super friendly, running a great operation. The membership was, again, really cool variable membership too. You had normal Joe Blows, then obviously you had some folks that are national members that are, connected at a lot of different clubs, but nothing pretentious, very laid back, very welcoming, ran, like I said, operations perfectly. And then the golf was excellent. So what more can you ask for? But gents, I got to go tend to a kid with a broken collarbone. I didn't just leave him this whole podcast. The wife tagged out halfway through. So I'm not a complete piece of shit dad, but I got to go check on him. But for Goldie, for Adam, for Mr. Golfberg, this was Ballyneal, Holyoke, Colorado, one of the greatest golf experiences you could ever have. And we'll see you next week. And most importantly, stay plugged. Peace.
Shout out, Ted.
Ted.